Okay. Hey, folks, we're live on the TD report. You see this man right here, Jody. He happy because his boys finally won. So welcome, Jody, from the
Hey, listen, man.
Midwest, folks.
Hey, listen, man. It's more than just a win this week, man. We beat Tom Brady. We probably never had the opportunity to play him again. We probably beat him in the last hoorah of his career. And it was a sound win. It was a we went toe to toe with him. And then next week we have a historic moment in Cleveland Brown history. We're signing the highest guaranteed paid quarterback in NFL history. And Deshaun Watson is back. He's going back to his home team that he came from, the Houston Texans. And we ready to play some ball. Every game is a one-game season, Tony. The season's not over. We ain't there yet. You don't have to kill us. And we're gonna go one game at a time.
I gotta admit, y'all like some damn vampires in that joint. Um, Listen, man, folks, we're live on the TD report. I'm Tony Kennedy. This is Jody Coleman. We're bringing it to you real now because we're in that part. We've hit that magical date of December 1.
Yeah.
Now, this is right now, I believe everyone is eligible for the playoffs. Nobody,
Except for the Texans. The Texans are the only one mathematically eliminated.
Texans are the only team. So 31 teams have a chance for the dream in February. And we're at that magical month of December. Folks, this month tells you how many people are going to be Hall of Famers, how many people are going to be fakers, how many people are going to be cut and just gone. This month tells and makes and breaks people's careers. This is
Mhm.
it. This. I mean, listen, man. You coming to DC at the end of this month to come see your Browns get waxed by the Washington football team, which they're gonna put paws up on your boys.
Hey, listen, it's a one game season. Every week is a one game season, and every week has to be like your Super Bowl at this point when you're in Cleveland. You can't take any plays off. You can't take any snaps or possessions. You have to give it everything that you have. You already know how hostile the crowd is going to be. They're going to be calling Deshaun Watson everything but a child of God on every road game, and it's even going to be some home games. So there's going to be some people that, of course, with his off the field things that was going on, that's the question that's consistently being asked this week. But the way that you able to answer them questions is you go win football games. You go win football games and you do it with class and dignity, the way that I feel like he's been doing it. And he could put this behind him. He can move forward in his career. He's still a young man. He's, what is he, 25 years old, 26 years old? It's amazing. Can I segue with this, Tony? It's amazing how a 14, 15-year-old get to say that he was 14 to 15 and he was a kid. And, we all know 15 to 16, 14, 15, 16-year-olds make mistakes. We all know that 25, 26, and 27-year-olds make mistakes. But it depends on who it is that's making the mistakes. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's almost as if this guy was innocent in the court of law, but he's still being victimized as being like as if he was guilty. But we just seen a picture surface of Jerry Jones on one of the most historical situations in America with them keep with the segregating of schools, and he was right there front and center. Regardless if he was there because there was other students that wasn't there, but he was there. And with him coming from money like he did, I'm pretty sure everybody knew who he was. I'm pretty sure the conversations had been had. I understand you're 14 to 15 or 16, but he understood. He was a very intelligent man. He understood what was going on in the climate of the country, and he was right there. I guess he didn't think he was going to be the Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, maybe. But guess what? When you do things like that, you never know who's watching.
Hey, what you just did was, I mean, that's a teachable moment. From what I'm getting, I heard the jury's coach told him, "Stay away. That has nothing to do with you." And Jerry defied him. Didn't listen to his coach. People, listen. Didn't listen to his coach, and he ended up in there. Now, that's not to say that, I mean, most of you guys, Jerry has a great life, but his legacy. His legacy. I'm the biggest Cowboy fan, probably one of the biggest ones in the world. Okay, let's put down Jerry's legacy. 37 chances to hire people over 33 years. That's offense, defensive coordinator, head coach. Jerry Jones has hired 4 African Americans. Let me make sure I got that right. 4. If you do the math, it's 90% that he didn't hire African Americans in a league that's 70 to 80% black. So whether you say Jerry Jones is, oh, well, what happened? What did he do? He was 15. He was a month away from being 15 and all that. That event obviously did not change his views or his life or anything else, because he's not championing stuff for African Americans to lead the team. I don't see him going after Michael Irvin or Emmitt Smith or Darren Smith or any of those guys to go and help run the organization, guys that that know talent and stuff like that. I don't see Jerry Jones doing that. And whether you like a team or not, you have to be fair with the criticism. And listen, that picture was taken 3 years before the Cowboys became a team, 3 years before they played their first game. Okay, so historical perspective. Let's go down. Dallas Cowboys was the first NFL team, Southern NFL team in the South, to have African-American players. That is a fact. Okay. That is probably why you got all the black in these states who like the Dallas Cowboys. Fact. The last team to integrate was right here in Chocolate City in Washington, D.C. And they only integrated simply because they couldn't get in the RFK Stadium, which was D.C. Stadium there, until they added black players. Now, this is not a deflection to say, well, Jerry did it and they did it and this and that. No. When you want to talk about this stuff, let's put in context. Let's put facts, okay? Because we, like the Dallas Cowboys, don't mean that we ain't black enough for you clowns out there that keep starting that crap. Me, I am not a hypocrite like some of the people I blog with who won't find fault with nothing on their team. Everything their team done is perfect. If you one of those people, no credibility, none whatsoever. I have tagged people in and out about this Jerry Jones situation. I've even put up a picture today with me and Jerry Jones 12 years ago, hanging out and whatever and talking whatever. But that ain't got nothing to do with what we saw and what his hiring practices are. What are his hiring practices? I'm telling you, 33 hired and 37 hired and only 4 African Americans. Talk to me, Joe. Is that a problem?
Well, see, this is my thing. One thing I will give Jerry Jones credit for is he has not went away from the questions. He's answered questions. He didn't go hiding. I don't believe that Jerry Jones is a racist individual. I don't think so. I think that his life experiences has showed him that, everybody can be equal. I will say that. But when we're looking at it from a hiring perspective, I mean, the numbers don't lie. I've never seen a number lie. And there's been ample opportunity. But I think as an African-American culture, when it comes to coaching in the National Football League, I think we're thinking too small, because an owner of a team is going to, owner of any business is going to get the people, especially that's going to be directly up under him, that he's going to have to be in constant communication with. He's going to get somebody that looks like him, thinks like him, that's going to have the same mindset. So a lot of times you're going to put that's going to be some of your friends. And that's the luxury when you have a lot of money. The luxury is to have people around you that you feel like that can run your business if you're not there. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, the Dallas Cowboys, he has a lot of people with money, and the people that he has normally looks like him at this point. That's not an indictment to Jerry Jones. But what I will say is I think as an African-American culture, we think it's too small. We need to be thinking of ownership, because if we have ownership, then we can hire the people that look like us. I think if you go to every major company, Fortune 500 company, and I've said that I work for a major company like that, and the higher you get up, the less African Americans you see. And it's like I said, people can hire who they want. That's their business. Like, I'm not mad about that, because if I have my business, I'm gonna hire who I want, right? But the problem is when you have qualified candidates that are not even getting interviews. That's the problem that I have, and that goes beyond Jerry Jones. That's an NFL problem, because the NBA don't have that same problem. The NBA probably has equal or more black coaches in that organization than anything, and they keep giving the African American coaches opportunities, even when I feel like some of them don't deserve it. I think they have changed the culture in the NBA, but the NFL, they don't get that. It's guys that if you're African American and you mess up, that was it. You mess up, you have. I've seen Lovie Smith get fired, and he went 10-6. You know, as a Cleveland coach, you would kill to be 10-6. Do you think Detroit would have? And that's another one. They had Caldwell, who had a winning 9-7 record. He got fired, and Detroit can't win games. I don't know the last time they had a winning season. It had to be over 4 or 5 seasons ago before they had a winning season. And you hire a guy, you fire a guy that has a winning record, and you just don't see that a lot with the other, other cultures. You don't see other coaches get canned after having a 10-6 season, a 9-7 season. Some of them guys got to resign before y'all get rid of them. You don't fire them, and no matter how bad they do, and then they resurface. And I mean, it trickles down from ownership to GMs. You don't see a lot of African American GMs. And like I said, if you qualify for the job, at least give us the opportunity. And if we mess up, give us the same leeway as others. You know what I'm saying? Because some of the guys we want to be coaches may not even be good coaches. I mean, but we don't know. So going back to Jerry Jones, he's not the only one that we should be mad at. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even mad. I'm a little disappointed because it's about to be 2023 in a month. And we still talking the same stuff we were talking when I was in high school. And that was over 25 years ago. We're still talking about not having a lot of African-American coaches. We're still talking about the quarterback. People not really want African-Americans to play quarterback. We don't have a lot of African-American GMs, and we definitely still don't have any African-American owners.
Wow. And you saw me, we went to the Hall of Fame thing. So Jody and I were at a private party where all the Hall of Famers and Roger Goodell come in. I'm over there talking to Roger Goodell for like 15 minutes. And one topic I was talking to Roger Goodell about was black ownership. And Curtis Martin heard me talking to him. I was going in on him on black ownership. I was telling him, hey, he came out his mouth at me, well, I want black owners, but I can't give no discount. And I immediately snapped right back at him. Who asked for a discount?
Right.
And that checked him right there. I said, how about you do this? How about you, I know that you got one city that's I said, I know that you got one city that's suing you right now, and they're suing you. Why don't you go take that city and go put that city, which is St. Louis, and give them opportunity?
Yeah,
put black ownership in there and go from there.
And I just think that we need to get opportunities, Tony. Like if anybody is listening on the TD report, man, we love the game. And it's unfortunate that we have to continue talking about things that's not football, or that's not basketball or baseball, whatever it may be. We consistently talking about, some things that's going on off the field or off the court, that's this detrimental to the society and the climate that we're in. Because I know that the civil rights leaders are, and going even further back, our ancestors had to deal with things so we wouldn't have to, but we're dealing with the same things they had to deal with. I'm 44 years old, and, we're still talking about the same things. I remember having this same conversation in 2002 when I was in the Marine Corps. I just got out the Marine Corps, and we having the same conversation about when the Cleveland Browns came back. Why wasn't the Cleveland Browns being able to be bought by African Americans? We didn't. So we're talking 21 years ago, and we're still sitting up, and we're not even nowhere closer to getting African American ownership, because it has to be at the top. We talk about Irsay. right? And we're getting upset about him hiring Jeff Saturday. And I hope Jeff Saturday is a phenomenal coach. I really do. But I feel like he jumped the line. So the feedback I got back from my TikTok and putting up the blog, they basically saying it's his team. He can put who he want in charge. But that goes back to what I said. If only people you hang with are people that got a lot of money and the people that look exactly like you, when are we ever gonna get a change? So it's really you saying it on deaf ears when you continue to say it to people that understand it already, Tony. So everybody in our audience understands it. So it's entertainment to whoever's listening, but we got to get it to the people. And I don't want to use this in a derogatory statement, but the bigots, and we try to get to them because we have to give them an opportunity to change their mind and understand that we're all equal. And we are. Like, I have no ill will for any other culture, any other race. I love them. I was in the Marine Corps and I had to love them. And even before I went to the Marine Corps, I never had any problems. You know, if you treat me good, I'll treat you better. It doesn't matter. It wasn't no, you know, it was none of that. And now it just seemed like it's either one or the other, Tony. It's like it's either you got to be pro-black and anti any other culture. That's not what we're saying.
Well, hey, folks, this is Jody Coleman and Tony Kennedy on the TD Report. We're talking to you about the Jerry Jones situation and just, you know, the NFL, their track record is not really that good. I mean, they do a hell of a job at getting the players to play, but they do an awful job as management, coaching, any of that stuff. And my thing is, you can't tell us that they don't have qualified applicants right there. And then you, as an NFL, you allowed for someone to come from a podcast and just jump right into being a head coach over everybody else. And nobody said anything. No owner stepped up and said, you know, you're hurting the. That looked horrible. I mean, that looked horrible. And it may not represent all y'all, but y'all ain't nobody say nothing about it. None of y'all said anything about it. How many of the owners came out and spoke out against that? Because they know that was wrong. You know you don't do nothing like that. Even if you wanted to do something like that, you still got to follow some kind of because in that case, then the dude that's right around the corner coaching in the high school can go out there and be the next Bengals head coach.
But you know what, Tony? You know that. But the question was to me, would I had the same thought process as I was African American that got the same opportunity that Jeff Saturday had? And the crazy thing, and I told him, and I think I shocked him. I said, no, I would still be upset because you're gonna jump the line from guys like Eric Bieniemy. You jump in the line of Byron Leftwich. Both of those guys that I mentioned, Raheem Morris, all three of those guys I mentioned won Super Bowls in the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Those guys won a Super Bowl in the last 3 years. Now, and you got DeMeco Ryans, who has the best defense in NFL right now. So you know I'm not going to ever be okay with somebody not putting in their hard work and staying up late and making sure that you got these plays and these players prepared. And you coaches are the ones that run practices. If I'm a high school coach, and when I was coaching JV and I was assistant on the varsity side, I ran the practices. You understand what I'm saying? You only gonna be as strong as your assistant coaches. So we know, yeah, Andy Reid is on TV, but Eric Bieniemy is the man behind the madness. You got to give him some type of credit because they keep saying, well, Andy Reid is the one, he called the plays, they won a Super Bowl, but Andy Reid did not win a Super Bowl until he linked up with Eric Bieniemy. I'm gonna say that again. He did not win a Super Bowl until he linked up with Eric Bieniemy. And on top of that, what's my guy? Arians did not win a Super Bowl until he linked up with Todd Bowles and he linked up with Byron Leftwich. So McVay never won a Super Bowl until he linked up with Raheem Morris. So I don't want to hear that these guys they all helped each other. So yeah, if you would have put a guy like, let's say you put Ryan Clark, because he's on podcasts, he's on ESPN, and you jumped him, he ended up being one of the head coaches in the league. Yes, that would have been a problem for me. So it doesn't matter what color you are. If you jump the line, you jump the line. You know what I'm saying? It would have been the same outrage as if I'm not mad that Jeff Saturday did it because he's Caucasian. I'm saying he's mad because he jumped the line. Come on, man. Y'all, let's understand what we're saying, because a lot of times y'all come with the narrative that, like I said before, we're pro-black and anti any other culture, and that's not what we're saying. Me and Tony and everybody that's involved with the TD report, we love football. We love sports. So I don't really care what color you can ball, and I want y'all to understand that. And now, can I segue this? I had put this up, and we talked about this in the production meeting about Donovan McNabb being a Hall of Famer. When I said it, I had somebody reply to me, and you have been upset if he wasn't an African American quarterback. Would you have been advocating for him? So I had to check him real quick, and I want my audience and everybody listening to know. I said no. I said I don't play that race game, because if you can ball, you can ball. And I told him that I did the same exact type of rant. Ken Anderson. Last time I checked, Ken Anderson is a white quarterback, and I don't care. Ken Anderson was a baller, and I don't even like the Bengals. I like the Browns, but I'm a fan of the game. So a lot of times we just know what we're talking about. We're not trying to put another race down to big up us. We just want equal opportunity.
Jody, when I get those type of people, they the most racist ones, because what's the old saying? A hit dog will holler, and that's them. You hit on something, and you hit it so well that they want to say, "Oh, this and that." Folks, let me get this clear to you. If you white, and the minute you say black folks pull a race card, that word to me, you might as well call me the N-word, because when you say you pulled the race card, I already know where you're coming from. I already know you don't give a F about us unless we're on the field, or we're shooting the hoops, or we're doing whatever. So cut that bull with me. Cut that bull with us. We don't come at y'all like that with anything. If you can ball, you can ball. You can ball. And if you mad because of a black quarterback, and let's be real, the only black quarterback that's in the Hall of Fame was discriminated against for the first 4 or 5 years of his career, and had to go up to North to Canada to play.
6 years.
One more. Sorry, 6 years.
He was discriminated for 6 years of his career.
Yeah. So stop that, folks.
He would own every passing record right now.
Would own all of them.
But
and then when we saw him, he said he still could have been playing years, but they ushered him out the game. You remember that?
But whatever. Yeah, we was up there, and I got a picture with Warren Moon. I'm actually bigger than Warren Moon too. I want to add that. But he looked like he could still play right now. But I mean, I'll see when we have to segue and talk about things that's not football, or talk about things that's not basketball, baseball, hockey, track and field, boxing, whatever the sport that we love or we talk about, it takes away from the actual performances, and you try to lessen some of the things that people are actually doing. And like I said, I can care less if you're black or you white. When you got your helmet on, you don't even know, who playing. And if you're a blind man, how you know what color they are? You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like let's just let's get out here and let's enjoy the greatness that these professional athletes are displaying.
So right there, when you say we cover all that, hey folks, USA soccer team, they are in the round of 16.
Let's get it.
But Mexico isn't. Ooh, buddy. Mexico didn't make it for the first time since the year Jody was born, since 1978. That was the last time they didn't make it before this time. Think about it, Jody. Were you 44? That's easy math. 44 years Mexico has made it to this round.
44.
In it. And now, their fans got in trouble because they were chanting anti-gay stuff, whatever. Mexico, build that wall because you home. You can't come over here and deal with this top 16, Sweet 16 team here. USA all the way. Hey, man, I wish them well. I mean, I've been following World Cup since 82. So most people on here, and I call it soccer. It is not football. Football is American football that we was talking about. Started with rugby. That's why they wanted to call it soccer. It is soccer here. It could be called football across the world. But in these United States, you better call it soccer or else nobody going to listen to you. Talk to me, Joe.
Listen, man. It's a huge respect for the USA getting to the field of 16 because you got to understand the US is really not known for being a soccer powerhouse. You know, we like you talking about the Venezuelans, you're talking about the Mexican culture. Those are the ones that are dominant. You look at the African countries, those are normally the most dominant ones in the soccer game, and we invading the party, man. That brings me so much joy as an American, that we are in there and we got an opportunity to bring the World Cup home. So yeah, I'm ecstatic about it, man. I'm really happy for our guys. Utmost support, and I hope they can pull through. Like I said about the Browns, just take it one game at a time. Don't get over. Just get in there, and because at this point, every time the U.S. win, it's almost like it's an upset. So keep doing your thing.
Yeah, and listen, around the world, I'm not gonna throw shade at soccer, but y'all do know if our best athletes played soccer in this country, y'all do know we would run that damn World Cup. We would run it because, first of all, our goalie would be somebody like Jason Tatum, who's 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", who can move and who has the range and to get out. And our forwards would be our running backs and wide receivers. I mean,
think about JJ Watt. JJ Watt playing forward in soccer. You know what I mean? JJ Watt out there, man. Come on, man.
All athletic people. I mean, I always look at it. The person who played a 2 or 3 in basketball, that's my goalie, because you got to be able to be quick. You got to be able to have a wide span, and you got to be able to be that killer athlete at goalie. Y'all wouldn't be scoring on us because, come on now. Can you imagine old Kobe Bryant at goalie? I mean,
he was a soccer player. He was when he was young. He was a soccer player.
Yeah, I mean, he's nothing. Look, Tim Howard did it all. He looks just like one of those guys. Like he looked like Kobe and looked like Jason Tatum, all that type of stuff. But our best athletes don't play soccer. Our best athletes play baseball, football, lacrosse, basketball. We ain't in soccer like that. But I applaud the guys who did choose that thing of soccer. Now, headed up to tonight.
Hold on, Tony. Before you get to that, we're not saying you guys that play soccer are not great athletes. Don't take that any slight or any discrimination, because some soccer players can get it in.
They can get it in. They can get it in. Headed to tonight, we have a huge matchup. This one right here is pretty big. We about to find out if Bill Belichick can really, really, really coach it, because his team is nowhere close to this Buffalo Bills team. Matter of fact, none of us picked New England to go to the playoffs. And it seemed like right now, if the playoffs were to start today, that they would probably be in. So,
right,
is it the coaching or is it luck? Talk to me.
Right now, the New England Patriots have a very, very good chance of beating this Buffalo Bill team, because I don't think the Bills are dominant. I'm gonna tell you why. The guy that they brought in, the $150 million man, Von Miller, is out for the season. That's what they brought in to rush the passer. And I think you take him off of that defense, the way that he had been playing, on top of Josh Allen being a little banged up, and they still haven't really got the running game going. And I think Josh Allen is taking way too many hits. I've said that early in the season. I remember the game he played against the Miami Dolphins where he threw the ball 63 times and he ran it 9 more. That means he had 72 touches of the football. You can't do that with 6 games remaining in the season. When you make it to playoffs, and you got to, especially you're not going to have home field anymore. I think it's going to be Kansas City. So that means you're going to have to play that additional game. So Buffalo right now, I feel like this is a must win for the Buffalo Bills more than it is a needed victory for the Patriots. I think the Patriots can lose this game and still sneak in at the 7th spot in the playoffs. But I think Buffalo, they can't go on the road. Buffalo is not going to be able to live on the road. They're going to have some home field and some home cooking. I just, especially when you was so much of a heavy favorite. When you're so much of a heavy favorite, they can't go in the Bengal Stadium. They can't go in the Tennessee Stadium. They ain't gonna be able to go in the Arrowhead. They're not gonna be able to do that. They're not gonna be able to go into Miami again because you go from that cold weather to that hot weather. You used to playing in the cold, Tony. So if they got to go down and play Miami again in that heat, because it's gonna be hot. I think Buffalo need to win this more than New England. And honestly, I think they will. I think they will win it more. I think New England at 9-8 can potentially sneak in the back end of the playoffs. But I think Buffalo, even though they're 8-3, they have to keep pace with Miami because they just can't be a playoff team. They have to be a playoff team with some type of home field. And this is very important for them. And can they get it done without Von Miller? I think they can beat the Patriots without Von Miller. But going forward, I don't know.
Well, folks, the way I see tonight's game, I think the daggone New England Patriots going to come out and they're going to run and they're going to run and they're going to run. That's all. Going to keep running. That's going to be – Bill Belichick is unpredictable. He knows how to play to your faults. It's a short week. The game is in New England. So Buffalo had to travel to New England. Everything says – Buffalo's supposed to win this game. Everything. Except Bill Belichick's history, man. I just feel like it's going to be something strange in this game tonight that's just going to, I don't know. I think Buffalo, man, I think they jinx, if you ask me. I mean, everybody predicted them at the beginning of the year. And have they played? I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know, man. Your best defensive player get hurt.
I mean, let's make no mistake. I mean, they still 8-3. So I mean, it's a lot of teams across the league, like your Dallas Cowboys that are 8-3. Cleveland Browns would love to be 8-3 right now. And so I think even though you're the favorite, some people think when you pick a team to be the favorite, they got to go undefeated, which nobody's done except for the 72 Dolphins. So I think we put these expectations on these teams as the media that they think that it has to happen instantly. So, I mean, what else you want to do? 8-3 is a perfect spot for a favorite team to go. I just think they need to have home field because of what I mentioned. And you're going to need a pass rush. Now, where are you going to generate those sacks from? I think Von Miller went out with 7 sacks. Where are you going to generate those sacks from? He was brought in. And see, Tony, it's not just Von Miller's sacks. It's his veteran presence. It's his championship pedigree. You understand what I'm saying? Like, where do they get that for? Because where did they get that bravado on the defense? Matt Milano been playing lights out football at the linebacker position. A lot of people if you don't know about him, check him out. Number 58 for the Buffalo Bills. Matt Milano, he flies around the field. He's always around the ball. He seems to always come up with the big play.
So right now, in their division,
yeah,
it is. Oh, Jody, you okay? In their division, Jody, is Miami 8-3, Buffalo 8-3, Jets 7-4. New England need this game at 6-5. They need this game like a pimp need a prostitute. They need it badly.
They may need this game, but I think that they're to get into the playoffs for New England is an accomplishment. It's not like when you had Tom Brady when you were expecting championships. I think if they can get to the playoffs, that's a successful season, even if they go out in the first round. Like they got completely embarrassed last year by this Buffalo team, 47-3, or 47. It was 47-3 or 47-13. I know it won a lot of points by New England, and somebody can fact check me, but I know they gave up 47 points. But I think that was an accomplishment for a young quarterback and Mac Jones to be able to taste the playoff atmosphere. So
That wasn't the
my
game
thing
where they
is,
ran the ball every down, was it?
no. That was early in the season. Remember, early in the season, the first time they met, New England ran the ball 45 times out of 48 plays, and it was a very cold and windy day in Buffalo, and they won that game. Then they came. I'm talking about the playoff game when they played them, and Buffalo basically embarrassed them in the playoffs, and I think they beat them. Like I said, I think it was like 47-3 or 47-13, but I know it was a lot to a little. And the Buffalo Bills right now, they just, how do you protect Josh Allen? You can't have Josh Allen with kid gloves on and not let him play his game. But how are you going to have Josh Allen where he's still your leading rusher and he's still carrying the ball? He shouldn't be carrying the ball 9, 10, 11 times a game. And he can't be throwing it 45 times. That's just way too much wear and tear on his body. I know he's 6'5", 230 pounds, but I don't give a doggone. You can't have that many touches and think that you're going to be successful come the end of December.
Yeah, I think the Josh Allen stuff, you pointed that out months ago. And you said, he said, this, I don't like Josh Allen running the ball this much. He's getting too much of the ball. This is not a good recipe. You said that months ago. So, folks, Jody isn't playing Monday morning quarterback here. Jody is giving you the real stuff. He said it a while ago when he saw the numbers. He said he's getting hit too much. Now, when he got hit the last hit against Detroit, they didn't talk about that hit, but he went and he sat over there and he was kind of hurt before they kicked the field goal. And I noticed that too. Josh Allen, we're praying just like everyone else, but he's running the ball too much. And they don't say nothing about Josh Allen running the ball. But when I hear about Lamar Jackson, oh, he runs the ball too much. Well, Josh Allen runs the ball just as much. So why they won't say, oh, well, his body's bigger? Well, actually, Josh Allen's taking more hits than Lamar Jackson because Lamar Jackson actually really doesn't get hit. He runs and slides or he go out of bounds, and it's like he playing touch football out there. Lamar Jackson get hit more in the pocket than almost any other quarterback. When he actually leaves the pocket, he get hit less than any other damn person playing the sport. Check it out when you watch him play. So to hear this and that, and it's like, folks, if you don't like quarterbacks who can scramble, quarterbacks who can move, well, then you might want to stop watching football for the next 10, 15 years because that's all that's coming up. All kinds of quarterbacks who can scramble, who can move. You have to be able to scramble and move to win nowadays in this game because if you can't and then you don't, those defensive linemen are too physical and too fast, and they will get to you, and it will change the way they play you.
You know,
Tell
and
them, Joe.
it's amazing too when we talk about Lamar Jackson for a moment, and he runs too much, and he hasn't sustained any injuries. Not saying that he sustained one last year, but it was an ankle injury. It wasn't because he took a hit. It was basically whatever the ankle injury was, or twisting his ankle, whatever he did. But it's amazing how the criticism of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are completely different. When we say that Lamar Jackson, they can't bank on the leg of Justin Tucker, to win games. But last time I checked, even though the Buffalo Bills are 8-3, do we realize the Baltimore Ravens are 7-4 and in first place in their division? Buffalo's not in first place in their division. They're tied. But guess what? Miami has the win, so Miami is technically the division leader. But right now, Baltimore beat Cincinnati. So guess who's in first place in the NFC North? Once again, it's Lamar Jackson. So if Lamar Jackson hasn't earned his money by this point in time of the season, then just let that man go to Atlanta or any other team out there that needs a quarterback, because right now you're playing with this guy's emotion. You take, and I'm gonna say it on the TD report, you take Lamar Jackson off the Baltimore Ravens, and you have the Tennessee Titans. I mean, you have the Houston Texans. They're depleted they're depleted. Lamar Jackson covers up so many mistakes that team makes.
So many of the mistakes on that defense. Hey, folks, we with the TD report. We got Jody. We're up about 5 minutes till game time. It is big AFC North battle, old school battle. What we're talking about is Josh Allen, who was the early season favorite for the MVP, but it looks like now
Not for me.
It looks like now it's going to be Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts.
I told you when the season started, and I did. I can show you receipts. I said it on July the 19th, and this was after Tyreek Hill was traded. I said that Patrick Mahomes would win the MVP. I said it, and I got it. I'm gonna bring it on here. I got the picture on TikTok, and I went and I made a post about it. I said he was gonna be the MVP, but I know we got 5 minutes before game time. I wanted to throw something out. And it's about college football. Well, actually, it's gonna be college basketball and college football. College basketball. I want to send a shout out to the Houston Cougars for being ranked #1 for the first time since Clyde Drexler and Keem Olajuwon was there. The five slam
Larry
jumpers.
Mishaw, Michael Young, that team, that five slammer jammer team that lost in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in the pit to NC State is probably one of the greatest teams to never win the championship. I mean, when you think about the Hall of Famers, the two Hall of Famers that they had on their team, and Clyde Drexler and Akeem Olajuwon, I never forget. I was in 7th grade that year. I was a great team. We used to take and ball up little paper and go dunk the daggone projector thing and yell five slammer jammer. We loved that team with Larry Mishaw and Benny Anders and Keem Olajuwon, Drexler. That was the year when Clyde Drexler jumped over little Andre Turner of Memphis State. Pull up the video. He jumped over his head and dunked the ball on him. Five slammer jammer, man, was one of the best things ever happened. And quiet is kept. Houston made 3 straight Final Fours, but they ran into buzzsaws. 82, they lost to Carolina. 83, they lost the championship to Jimmy V. And 84, they lost to Georgetown. They lost it was just, I don't know how they did it. I really don't know how you made it to 3 straight and lost, but it did happen. They made 3 straight Final Fours. So, back then it was extremely hard to make a Final Four.
Oh, yeah. So I just want to close with this, and I know nobody's going to like this take, but this is my take, and I'm going with it. We get back, I'll be available on Monday with the TD report. We'll be talking about football, but I truly believe, Tony, this weekend you have some championship matchups. You got Georgia versus LSU. I think Georgia's in regardless they win or lose. Michigan plays against Purdue, which I will be at covering in Indianapolis. I will be there covering for the TD report and 4.0 media. I will be there. But Michigan can lose and they'll get in. But this is where it gets tricky. You got the TCU Horned Frogs against Kansas State. Kansas State will beat TCU. You have USC versus Utah. USC will beat Utah. The Final Four is going to be Georgia at #1, Michigan at #2, USC at #3, and Ohio State at #4. You heard it here on the TD report.
Hey, folks, you hear him. Hey, folks, it's called the TD report, not the dream. The D doesn't stand for dream because that's what he's damn doing. He's dreaming. The Final Four will be as follows: Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and USC. Now, let's get it. Don't get it twisted. The Heisman Trophy winner will be a Crab Bowl alum and Caleb Williams. You know I'm big on that, my Crab Bowl. I want to say Blake Corum is having surgery tomorrow. Season ending. Prayers with you, for you, brother. Good luck. Speedy recovery on whatever you decide to do, whether you stay at Michigan or you go pro. Good luck on your endeavors. But, that kid would have probably won the Heisman had he had the game that Edwards had against your suck eyes who messed up my damn parlay. Michigan did something that they hadn't done in 22 years. They hadn't done, I'm going to tell you how long it's been. Michigan hadn't won in Columbus since Al Gore was fighting George Bush in the election.
All I'm going to say is this, y'all. I know everybody, what Ohio State do. They deserve to be there? Probably don't. So if they don't get it, I'm not going to be disappointed. But let's go ahead and make no mistake about the Michigan and Ohio State rivalry. Ohio State since 2000, and you can even add in the 90s. If you add the 90s when they dominate Ohio State, we still up 18-15. Just keep that in mind. 18, 15, and 1, even since 1990. So, I mean, it is what it is.
2000s, what is the number?
2000s is I think it's like since 2000, I think it's 17-5, Ohio State. And think about it, it's 17-5, and they just won back to back. So for the 20 years, it was 17-3. So I mean, they can win another 12 times, and that would only tie. So I'm just putting that in perspective, guys.
Hey folks, that's Jody Coleman, our resident Ohio State and Cleveland fan. The game just kicked off. First play of the game, New England running the football. And I kind of like this. New England got the old helmets and the old uniform on with the Patriot and the 3-point stand. I like that.
They ain't got their old quarterback. He down in Tampa.
Hey, he keep losing games like that against Cleveland. He ain't gonna be in Tampa long. He might be without a wife and without a team.
He better go get her back and apologize after what we did to him.
He better, folks. So yeah, we call what you think is gonna be this weekend. We'll catch you on Monday right after the bowl thing come out. But I called my 4, and I'll surprise you on who my national champion is gonna be. But I got a hint. Good old number 33 was the quarterback for them. Sammy Baugh. If y'all don't know football, man, I can't help you with that, baby. Y'all got to go get.
You act like that was a surprise, though. That ain't no surprise pick.
Ooh.
You talking about Georgia?
No, TCU.
All right.
Fran Tarkenton played at Georgia. TCU, Sammy Baugh played at TCU.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford played. Herschel Walker played at Georgia. Garrison Hurst, Rodney Hampton.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people played.
AJ Green, Champ Bailey.
Everybody don't
Boss
come out
Bailey.
of TCU. Who played there?
Boss Bailey.
Champ Bailey. So yeah, he
Champ
going
Bailey.
way back. So, hey folks, we're gonna get ready to roll because the game is going.
I'll be back with you. I'll be back.
Hey, have fun in Indy, baby. Be careful out there in Indy.
I will.
Man. I got going to Indianapolis. You be careful out there in Indy, man. Them people out there. It's gonna be cold now, but have fun in Indy. But you in the dome.
Actually, no. You know the weather gonna be 57 degrees. Ain't gonna be that cold.
Oh, you gonna be inside chilling. Hey,
yeah,
folks,
I'm chilling.
We got our man Jody Coleman. Hit us up from the dome. Let us know. All right, brother.
I will. All right.
See y'all.
Peace.